what we're talking about here is, rather than changing what you're doing necessarily, is changing the position of the body to give more access, okay? And what I was saying is, that's lovely. It's lovely to work around the shoulder like that. You can also move the arm over the edge of the couch there, and that might give you a little bit more space. See that fingertip work that we were doing? You could come here and do some kneading. This scapular area, this shoulder blade, there's attachments on here that very often get quite tight, okay? So there's lots of possibilities here. You could also take the arm over the edge of the couch there. That gives them a nice stretch up the back. See that? And you haven't done anything other than move the arm, just to give you more access, okay? And actually moving the arm is also part of the treatment. It's mobilizing the shoulder. When wouldn't you do that?
When there's a problem with the shoulder.
Yeah, when there's a problem with the shoulder and actually it's not moving very well. So you might have to be quite careful. How many of us are round-shouldered? Kind of a habit of our modern age to lean forward with everything that we do. So one of the things that we're going to try and encourage all the way through treatments is to open the chest area like this. Now, one way to get, I'm going to show you different things, but one way to get under that shoulder blade can be to simply, she's ever so helpful, to simply place the hand on the back. Now that was fairly easy for her to do. Would we do that if it wasn't easy for somebody to do? No. So you have to judge when you're moving someone's arm. So if they don't have mobility in the shoulder, this technique is not going to be for them. It's really not going to be for them. Okay, so you have to be very careful. If you think that that looks a little bit uncomfortable, or they start moving when you're doing that, then really think again, because there's better ways of doing it. That's one way of doing it. She's still ever so helpful. And you can place your hand underneath and get them to drop their elbow. And if you give that instruction to just let the elbow relax, can you see what happens here? Can you see how awkward this is for my body? Do I want to do much of this? I have to say I really don't like getting in awkward positions anymore. So this was what I was taught, so that you can actually get your fingers right under the scapula there. But it's actually really uncomfortable for me. And what if you put a pillow under? See how clever you are? So what you can have is a rolled up towel. Now, there's things that are useful for a rolled up towel, because automatically that stretches the front of their chest, which is doing you lots of good in the first place. It automatically brings the scapula up, and I can still do that at the same time. Then I don't have to work hard. Do I like working hard? No. So then you have a lot more access here if you want it, okay? Sometimes we cover this down the end of the, towards the, the end of the course, but I want to make sure I put that in for you now, so that even if you just tuck a little pillow or a rolled up towel under them while you work, some of the time it really does change what you're doing, okay? It's just something for you to play around with. And the other thing that I wanted to show you, as I say, kind of picked it up from a student here. It's something I do. Yeah, so one way to work either side of the spine is actually to use your fingers either side of the spine. And if you use your fingers either side of the spine, you don't want to do too much pressure in like this, but that feels comfortable for me, then you can actually do some lovely, either some stroking either side, or I can go into those spaces between the vertebrae. Now, where did I get that from?
point of view?
Yeah, I remember.
Doesn't even remember.
Just did it, didn't you? Okay? So it's just a nice thing that you can add in. How's that?
Cool.